Hello, my friend, and welcome back, or welcome to Something for Everybody. My name is Aaron Machbitz, and this is a solo episode of the podcast where I'm talking about pressure. Specifically, 5 little-known habits that could be sabotaging your performance under pressure. Because pressure can either lift us up or bring us down. Because athletes, coaches, business leaders, parents, many struggle when the heat is on. The problem? Well, it's common habits that sneak into your daily routine and block your path to success. If you don't fix these specific habits, they'll keep you from performing your very best when it matters most, or when the quote unquote pressure is on. In this episode, I will expose these hidden habits and show you how to beat them. So let's jump right in. Habit number 1, negative self-talk. You doubt yourself before, big moments, whatever that is. If you're an athlete, coach, parent, business leader, you know what those big moments are, and your self-talk, that negative self-talk creeps in. So you doubt yourself before big moments. Negative self-talk destroys your confidence and hurts your performance. So there's research from the Journal of Sports Science, and it shows that athletes who talk negatively to themselves perform up to 40% worse than those who use positive or neutral self-talk. Dr. Judy Van Rout's research shows that negative thoughts trigger your brain's stress center, which harms your decision making and physical skills. In her 2019 study, found that people who learned to not eliminate, reduce negative self-talk showed major improvements in both thinking and physical performance under pressure. Of course, this shows the study for athletes, but negative self-talk, as we know, impacts us all, and it impacts all of our performances. This is just specific information regarding athletes, but if you're a parent, a business leader, a coach, this same thing applies to you, and we have to get in control of our self-talk if we want to perform well under pressure. This research suggests that learning to control self-talk could be one of the easiest ways to improve performance for anyone facing high-stakes situations, from surgeons to business leaders to test takers. By changing the voice in your head, you sort of short-circuit the stress response before it hurts your performance. The good news is that these skills are learnable, giving you a practical way to pressure-proof your brain through practice and practice and practice and practice. So, to transform this habit, replace criticism with encouraging phrases. Practice affirmations daily, even when you feel good. Catch negative thoughts early and challenge whether they are true. Positive self-talk helps you build resilience under pressure. My favorite one out of these is to catch those negative thoughts early and challenge whether they're true. We're never going to eliminate negative thoughts. That's impossible. But we can get really good at challenging those negative thoughts and asking ourselves if they're true, and then moving from there to reframe those thoughts to something more credible, something more positive, and something potentially more uplifting. Because Olympic champion Michael Phelps famously used positive affirmations before every race. He repeated, "I am ready," and visualized success clearly. This helped him dominate competitions despite the enormous pressure that Michael Phelps was under. Phelps' example proves that positive words shape winning outcomes. Your internal dialogue controls your performance. Choose your words wisely. Your self-talk is the number one predictor of your confidence. So if you want to be confident in the most pressure-filled situations, we must control that internal dialogue. That's habit number 1. Habit number 2 is you have a lack of pre-performance routines. You start high pressure moments without, a clear plan. Without routines, you become more vulnerable to distractions and anxiety. Again, research from the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology shows that pre-performance routines significantly reduce anxiety and improve focus during high-stakes situations. In their study, athletes who developed structured routines showed a 23% improvement in performance consistency under pressure compared to, the control groups. A comprehensive review in Psychological Bulletin examined 28 studies concluded that individuals without established routines experience much higher performance variation and are 2.4 times more likely to choke under pressure. Those are very important stats to understand. Routines prepare your mind to handle pressure calmly. Here's what to do. Here's some action steps that you could potentially do. Create consistent routines before performances. Whatever your performances are or is, or whatever domain you live in, create some consistent routines. Make routines simple and repeatable so they become second nature. Include mental and physical actions like breathing and visualization. Professional golfer Tiger Woods is famous for his practice, or his precise pre-shot routine. No matter the pressure, Woods performs identical actions before every swing. This routine grounds him in the present moment and allows him to maintain his focus because the routine is so consistent and second nature. Woods' consistency really demonstrates how routines reduce stress and boost performance. Routines just anchor your performance and transforming this sort of stress into clarity. Routines allow you to see pressure as this privilege, as this opportunity, as this challenge. With no clear routines, a lot of us will see pressure as a threat. And as a threat, we have that stress response that comes up. But if we see pressure as a privilege, we see it as a challenge, an opportunity to grow and show our skills and to live life most fully. That's very important on sort of the perception of pressure, and having those clear routines allows you to really mold how you perceive pressure, and it allows you to stay in the present moment, focus on what's most important, and those routines become second nature, very much like Tiger Woods, so there's no distractions, you can maintain focus, and you see pressure as a challenge, not as a threat. Very important. Habit number 3, avoiding pressure situations in practice. You shy away from creating pressure during training. Avoidance leaves you unprepared when real pressure arrives. Again, research from the Journal of Sports Psychology and Action indicates that individuals who deliberately avoid pressure during practice experience a 67% higher rate of performance decline when facing actual high-stakes situations. This pressure gap occurs because the brain hasn't developed the pathways necessary to process stress efficiently. Excuse me, quick water break. And then, we had a landmark study by University of Chicago psychologist Sine Belloc found that practicing under mild to moderate pressure creates a stress inoculation effect. Her research showed that participants who trained under simulated pressure conditions showed a 35% improvement in performance during high pressure testing compared to those who practiced in a relaxed environment. That's really, really important to understand for anyone, not just athletes, but business people, surgeons, parents, everyone, salespeople, everyone. So what do we do? Well, we have to regularly simulate high-pressure situations during practice. Gradually increase intensity to build that resilience. Reflect on these sessions to fine-tune your response to stress, to fine-tune your routines, to fine-tune your self-talk during these moments. And you practicing under pressure creates familiarity and reduces anxiety, and also allows you to see pressure as this challenge, as this opportunity. That's really the beauty of it all. I mean, the Navy SEALs frequently train under extreme conditions to replicate combat stress. There is nothing more stressful than going into combat. By the time they're in real danger and real people are trying to kill them and shoot them, they respond automatically, without panic. Their very intensive practice directly saves lives and allows them to perform at their best when it fucking really matters most, right? SEAL training highlights that preparation under simulated pressure builds this mental toughness and this skill of being able to perform your best when it matters most. And so avoiding pressure guarantees surprise stress. Facing pressure directly ensures readiness. This is again seeing pressure as a threat or seeing pressure as a challenge. That's up to you, but practicing and putting yourself under pressure situations in practice where the stakes aren't high and you can get things wrong is really important to allow you to then go into those environments where there are things on the line, stakes are high, and you see this pressure as a challenge and you're ready to go for it and go all in on this thing. And then we have habit number 4, 2 more, habit number 4 and habit number 5. Habit number 4 is poor breathing techniques. Your breathing quickens and becomes shallow when you're anxious. Shallow breathing amplifies stress responses and impairs clear thinking. Again, research from the Journal of Neurophysiology shows that rapid, shallow breathing directly activates your fight or flight system, increasing stress hormones by up to 27% and harming memory function. This creates a negative feedback loop where anxiety triggers poor breathing, which then intensifies the stress response. And so a comprehensive study in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience used brain scans to show that shallow chest breathing reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for decision making, by approximately 18% compared to baseline measurements. Participants with this decreased activity performed significantly worse on thinking tasks under pressure. So the fix: use deep belly breathing regularly. Practice breathing exercises especially during low stress times. Use structured breathing routines in high pressure moments, and proper breathing calms your nervous system and improves decision making. Right? We have tennis star Novak. I forgot how to say his last name. Djokovic. Wow, that's horrible. This whole episode's now ruined because I forgot how to say Novak's last name. Anyways, heard his name a million times on ESPN, and right when I needed it most, right here when I'm going to talk about him. Sorry, Novak. But he uses breathing techniques between sets. He consciously slows down his breath, lowering his heart rate and increasing clarity. This helps him remain composed under pressure. Novak's approach shows breathing is a secret weapon against stress. So controlling your breath under pressure helps you control your performance. This is another thing that you want to be able to practice in those situations where, we talked about habit number 3, don't avoid pressure in practice. You want to be able to use your breath in those moments to see how it works for you, right? Novak does it. We've seen LeBron James do it, right? You really want to breathe in through the nose, deep into the belly, and then push everything out. So you can get into the present moment. You can center yourself. You can ground yourself. Your breath is your best friend. It's your life force. It's your number one tool. It's free and it's always available. But we have to be intentional and optimal about how we use it, especially in these high pressure, quote unquote, high pressure situations where we feel like there's a lot of things on the line, where there's money, pressure, wins, championships. Something is on the line that we feel, in our bones, it's important to us. We got to be able to use these mental skills in that moment to understand how we're going to get present, how we're going to maintain focus, how we're going to block distractions, and try and go out and be the best person we can possibly be. And so we have habit number 5, which is neglecting mental rehearsal or imagineering or visualization or whatever you'd like to call it. You rarely visualize success ahead of critical moments. Neglecting visualization reduces your brain's readiness to perform effectively. Research from the Journal of Cognitive Neuroscience demonstrates that visualization activates many of the same brain pathways as physical practice. Their landmark study found that participants who engaged in mental rehearsal showed up to 60% of the neural activity patterns observed during actual physical performance. That's really, really important. A review published in Psychological Bulletin examined 35 studies on visualization and performance, concluding that regular mental rehearsal improves performance outcomes by an average of 23% across diverse fields, including sports, public speaking, and surgical procedures. The research noted that visualization was most effective when practiced consistently over time rather than only before high pressure events. So this visualization is just becoming another part of your mental skills or mental health toolkit to allow you to perform your best on a consistent basis because you're visualizing that success. You're also visualizing yourself overcome challenge and obstacles, so you know when you face those challenge or obstacles, you're ready to handle them. You know how you're going to respond in those challenging and important moments. Sports psychologists at UCLA discovered that visualization enhances performance through multiple, mechanisms. Their 2019 study found that athletes who incorporated really feeling it, detailed mental rehearsal experienced a 41% reduction in performance anxiety, a 27% improvement in technical execution, and increased confidence ratings compared to control groups. The researchers concluded that visualization creates sort of these neural templates that the body can access more efficiently during your actual performance. So to transform this habit into something that helps you and helps you perform your best when it matters most, schedule or plan, daily visualization sessions. Visualize vividly, engaging all senses. Really, really put yourself in that moment. Pair visualization with actual practice, solidify these mental patterns. So you're doing that visualization, you're doing the actual practice, you're pairing it together, and then you're increasing your chances of success during your next performance or during your next pressure performance very, very much. And so visualization prepares your brain for peak performance. Olympic gymnast Simone Biles regularly visualizes routines before competing. She mentally practices every twist and turn until it feels natural. This mental rehearsal has consistently boosted her confidence and execution. Right? You also have Mookie Betts of the Los Angeles Dodgers says that he visualizes 30 to 40 at-bats before he even gets to the ballpark that day for a night game with the Dodgers. Right? Mookie Betts, Biles, right? Their success proves mental rehearsal sharpens physical performance. What your mind sees clearly, your body achieves more easily. That's an important thing to understand. When what your body sees clearly, I'm messing up my own quote. I said it right the first time. This is like the Novak situation here. We're really crushing it. What your mind sees clearly, your body achieves more easily. That's very important. So in closing, these hidden habits that we've talked about are going to silently sabotage performance. But now you have awareness, so that gives you control. And you have awareness, which means accept the fact that this is a reality, and then we can move into action. For each habit, I gave you some action steps. So we had awareness throughout this whole episode. Now accepting, which one of these habits is really deteriorating your performance under pressure, then move into action. This action is going to be very important, right? We can replace or challenge that negative self-talk. Right? Replace or challenge that negative self-talk with something more important, more uplifting, and more credible. Right? We want to establish those consistent routines. We want to embrace simulated pressure. We want to control our breathing and then harness that mental rehearsal or visualization. You can master pressure rather than letting it master you. Do you see pressure as a threat or pressure as a challenge and an opportunity? So if you're ready to conquer pressure and maximize your potential, if you're really ready, then choose just one of these habits to improve, make it too small to fail, and then notice the difference immediately and build that incrementally over time, then pick the next habit and the next habit and the next habit, and all of a sudden you've just conquered all 5 of these habits, and you're ready to dominate pressure, and you see these high stakes environments as an opportunity, as a challenge, as a way to grow, as a way to show the best you have as a way to become the best version of yourself in greatest service to the world. That's beautiful. That's brilliant. Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode. If you found it useful or valuable at all, please share it with a friend. It's the only way and really the best way this podcast can grow. And I appreciate you very much. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Cheers. Thank you very much for tuning into that episode. And if you enjoyed it, click right here for another full-length episode of the podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe. But most importantly, above all else, please take good care of yourselves and others. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Cheers.